Today, we've got a Week 6 matchup for you here between the Denver Broncos and the New York Jets. Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. And he almost flirted with disaster there, but it does get into the end zone before going out, and they'll bring it out to the 25. Fournette running right. And he's got some space here. And he'll be taken down, but not before they reach the 50. That one on the guard, Cesar Ruiz.
Let's go.
Herbert on the first play wants to pass it. Finding his target, it's Trey McBride. This defense for the Jets, they were very good in the win over Dallas a week ago.
And no matter what's done throughout a ball game, it always comes back to blocking and tackling. That's the essence of football. But I think it's hard for people to understand just how difficult it is to tackle, especially open field. Very few missed tackles on tape that I saw last game. This team does a nice job of getting their opponents on the ground.
Forced out to his left. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away.
Oh, I saw this one with defensive eyes because even as he escaped the pocket and bought time, the coverage stayed tight. Nothing broke down. Throwing it away, that was his only option.
Crowd getting in it a bit already. Here's an early 3rd and 10. They'll bring a receiver in motion right. Going to throw on 3rd down with Herbert. Looking downfield for Godwin. It's caught inside the 25. And he's brought down here just outside of the 20. But sometimes you just got to marvel at how these guys can throw the football. He gave that everything he had, and it was right on the money.
Well, one way or the other, you knew they'd have to push the ball downfield on 3rd and long. But I'm not sure the defense was expecting to push it that far downfield. Their math didn't add up, but it certainly did for the offense.
Play action this time for Justin Herbert. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. They were able to win last week despite him being sacked 4 times. They might need to tighten the reins a little bit, or this one may not end in another victory.
You're right about that. They can't count on just winning the game no matter what happens. They can't let the accumulation of hits and harassment in the pocket get to their quarterback. Got to stop that, give him clean lanes to throw the football in order to have a better chance to win again this week.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Herbert. And his throw is incomplete.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he let him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Here's Herbert. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And this is caught for a Bronco touchdown. Chris Godwin with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Broncos will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. Footing always a concern, but the extra point's up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. The Broncos kickoff unit out there to kick this one away. fielded right around the 8. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. Now the man from UTEP, this is Aaron Jones. And a short pickup to about the 25. So, Charles, you look at this offense. So what a start to the season. 5 wins without a loss. When do you think that you start believing that maybe you're in the midst of something special?
Well, you and I both know every head coach never wants that thought to creep into a locker room. But the truth of the matter is, not quite at this time, because if we look at the Steelers in 2020, they're a great example. Remember, they started 11-0, then lost 5 of 6 and went out in the first round. But I think if you get toward mid-November, the Thanksgiving time frame, and you're still doing this, that's when things start to get real for a ball club.
It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains. The Jets at a perfect 5-0 here to begin the campaign. They've certainly found their groove of late. Winners of 5 in a row.
And this team is absolutely playing their best football right now. This is the best that we've seen them play in a long time, partner. Sky's the limit as far as they're concerned. Their confidence really soaring.
On 2nd and 11 now. Lawrence complete. Smith has it. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Good work after the catch. Gets him 15 and a first down.
When you get a big tight end like this, sometimes it takes more than one man to bring him down. Oftentimes, your best bet, just jump on and hold on and wait for your teammates to arrive to help get him on the ground.
Couple of first downs to kick off the drive. Here's 1st and 10 up at the 46. Up the middle, Jones. Try to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Lawrence. And that one off the mark behind him, incomplete.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
Here comes the 8th play of the drive, and they need a full 10 yards on 3rd down. On play action, Lawrence. And that will be incomplete.
How about that? Red man coverage and decided to test him early, but it proved up to the task and forced the incompletion.
He punted 5 times in the win last week as this one's away. And that is very well done there as this will be marked out of bounds at the 5-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. I mean, look, they're on the road. So getting the 7-0 lead was huge for them, right? Imagine getting up 2 touchdowns on the road, taking the crowd out of the game. That'd be ideal.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Herbert. This one complete to Jerry Jeudy. And they work this out past the 25. Last play they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards. And he's top 5 in the league in terms of receiving yardage because of plays like that. What have you seen from him on film that you like so much?
Well, I'll strip away everything else and get to what we call the moment of truth. When the ball's arriving and there's a defender there, he just comes down with the ball. He competes.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. And award that sack to Boogie Basham. A CD, you know, so often we talk about quarterbacks holding on to the ball too long. Well, we can't say that there. He had no time to do much of anything. To try again after the sack. Herbert looking downfield for Godwin. And the defense has it covered. It's intercepted. Tariq Woolen picks it, and the Jets are going to take over at their own 41. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. They'll start in excellent field position following the INT. Jones running on first down, but finding it pretty tough going as he'll get forward for only about 3 there before he's taken down. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Lawrence will throw. And connecting here with DJ Shark. And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line.
Well, that certainly has to feel good. It's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
Now a first down carry by Jones. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Now that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater, he just made a great play there.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Now Lawrence. It's caught on the right side at Smith. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 3rd catch of this first half for him, and this one is a first down.
I like how they worked the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not even going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
Gets it quickly out wide to Thornton. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. That one unable to develop, never got going. A loss of a couple, and it's 2nd down. Looking to throw, Lawrence. And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground.
The coverage keyed in on him since that last completion his way. He earned a little more attention on that route, and that made it a lot tougher to get a clean throw his way.
On 3rd down, Lawrence. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Like what I see so far out of this defense, because they've been showing their best coverages on 3rd down. So far, only allowed 1 conversion on a handful of attempts. One area of their game plan that they've executed to perfection.
And this is not going to be anywhere close. No good. Way wide to the left. And this will stay at a 7-point game.
Now, if this was a clear day in September, I'd say this is well within his range. I'd feel very confident about this kick, but let's be honest about it. In these elements, the difficulty level gets ratcheted up by at least a factor of 5.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Over the middle, complete to Judy. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful you're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
To throw again on 2nd down. Herbert. Nowhere to go for Herbert, and he's going to go down. Josh Sweat rushing in and bringing him down to the ground.
Okay, I'm not sure you could actually draw a better pass rush than that one right there. Nowhere to go outside. He had to keep backing up and backing up and backing up. Eventually dropped for a huge loss.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Under pressure, they got him again. Martin Emerson providing a little deja vu, back-to-back sacks, and now they're staring at a 4th and long. On to punt now, Anger as he boots this one away. And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. A nice punt, but a good run back as well, 13 yards. And the Jets will have a short field to work with as they take over 1st and 10. They go play action now. Lawrence. He's got his man. That's Josh Gordon. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. Josh Gordon, his first touchdown on the year. And the Jets are within an extra point of tying up this ball game. Extra point attempt here still to come. It's up and good, and we're tied at 7 here in quarter number 2. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. This one taken just inside the 10. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. As we eat closer and closer to intermission, Charles, remember last time out they punted. They would love to get points here, especially if this is going to be their final possession of the first half.
Yeah, and this is what close games feel like because the pressure is on both sides, but sometimes the pressure is a little bit higher on the team with the slight edge because they're trying to hold on to that, trying to increase it. Let's see how this one continues.
A reminder coming up in a couple of minutes' time, we'll pay a visit to Jonathan Coachman, the coach in our EA Sports studios. They'll have a look back at the next-gen stats from this first half of action. Now on 2nd and 13, Herbert. He's got a man, complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A gain there of 30 big ones.
I think it's pretty safe to say that initially they had to be thinking about trying to get into field goal range. But after that shot right there, they've got to be thinking bigger right now.
And that was probably their thought offensively. If we hit this, great, let's go for the end zone. If not, settle for a field goal. Looks like they can try to hit pay dirt. They'll be taken down. The Jets get in there for the sack. It'll be a loss of 10. And it'll bring up 2nd. The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. Another try after the first down sack. Herbert under pressure, and they got to him again. Now a second timeout called for by the defense as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
I'm starting to wonder if this offensive line just simply doesn't like him. I mean, they've given up 6 sacks in this game. He's had nowhere to go, nowhere to run, and obviously nowhere to hide.
And all those sacks in the first half, this is just complete domination. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down. Went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Now it's Herbert. Looking downfield for Godwin. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. They've gone to the 2nd quarter in Buffalo. The Bills have taken an early lead against the Dolphins. Jacoby Brissett hooking up with his guys early and often. 3 first-half touchdowns. And a 7-yard return following a punt of 45 yards. And the Jets will take over 1st and 10. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. And with a little under a minute to play, they may be looking to pick up some yardage here, maybe try and come up with a field goal. He's got a man, complete. And all the way in, touchdown, New York. Tyquan Thornton, 75 yards. And the Jets will take the lead here in the final minute of the first half. And oh, he clanks it off the right upright, and it's no good. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. And, that's one he's going to want back. A poor kick. It heads straight out of bounds.
Well, not one you see often there as he fails to keep it between the sidelines, and that is a penalty every time and going to give this offense better field position.
And it's every kickoff guy's nightmare, isn't it? Because you don't see yourself doing this, and most of the time you don't. It's absolutely a mishit, and now your team pays the price. Bad field position for your defense.
Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. Tariq Woolen picks it, and the Jets are going to take possession here as they've got it at their own 4-yard line. Well, his arm strength never an issue, but this one winds up in the wrong hands.
Oh, the coverage here is just terrific because when it's done really well, sometimes you can't distinguish whether it's the receiver or the defensive back the ball's intended for. He actually ran with him in perfect motion and able to make a big-time play.
Play action. It's Lawrence. And that's going to be caught downfield by Chark. And he's going to have a first down, and they get into field goal range here at the 29. Another first down there as this one goes for 25.
And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
The Jets going to go ahead and use their final timeout as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half.
On the stick.
Off the play fake. Here's Lawrence.
And incomplete on the deep ball.
It's another zone defense. It looks like it's open for possibilities, but they did a nice job patrolling the middle of the field and forcing an incompletion.
And you see the clock almost empty, so this is likely the last play in the second quarter.
Here's Lawrence to throw.
That's caught inside the 20. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. So we have reached halftime in what's a 6-point game at the break. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth ready for quarter number 3. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half.
And no run back here as the third quarter will commence with a touchback. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. This offense set to begin the third quarter, and Charles, if they had a checklist of things they wanted to accomplish in the first half, certainly.
Into a double team, and it's intercepted.
Picked off by Christian Fulton.
And the Broncos are going to take possession of the football. Not the way you envision things to start out the third quarter. One play and already a turnover.
It's interesting. You and I were talking with the coach, and he talked about how at halftime, as a play caller, he wanted to make sure he got a new script going for the second half, not just the one that he operated off of to start the game. Nowhere on that script did it have that result.
That one's good for 35 yards on the ground and a first down.
This is going to sound crazy, but that type of a carry, big-time run, actually brings a high and a low to it. The high, of course, is the run. But the low, he didn't quite get to the end zone, just short of the pylon. What do you think he's doing in the huddle right now? Guaranteed he's lobbying for the football.
Fournette is not going to get in. In fact, he'll lose a couple of yards back to the 3.
That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game,
Case in point right there.
So they're backed up to the 3-yard line, 2nd and goal. They'll try to punch it in with Fournette. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down.
And now 3rd and goal coming up, the loss on 2nd down. That just means this crowd's going to get even louder. And they'll get a little bit of extra help from the defenders as they exhort them to join them in the effort.
A 4-yard pickup, not enough. 4th down.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran it a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nope.
And he'll get in. Touchdown, Denver. The sneak successful from a yard out, and the Broncos' decision to go for it pays off with 6 points. Extra point splits the uprights, and that will put them on top here in the 3rd. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And we'll see if they can bounce back from that last drive. In particular, if they can bounce back at the quarterback position, Charles, after throwing their first interception of the ballgame.
Yeah, some guys, you know they're going to want to try and get a big play right away and take control back. Others, they're going to look to hit a couple shorter passes, get a little momentum back that way.
But for the defense, that goal's not changing a bit. They want another pick.
You're exactly right about that. In fact, you've got to watch them a little bit because in coverage, they may cut down their gaps a little bit, maybe their splits a little bit in order to try and get to the ball even faster.
From midfield now, Lawrence. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. It's picked up by the Broncos. And they will take over at the 29-yard line. And maybe that one caused by the weather. Of course, the rain coming down. Charles, can you maybe, when you're carrying that football, grip it too tight in the rain?
I think that you can, and it's such a delicate balance, too, because when you grip it so tight, sometimes it'll slip out from your body. You squeeze it too hard, and it'll pop out on its own. I've actually had running backs talk to me about that when they've tried too hard, even in perfect conditions, the ball gets away from them. They've got to find that good balance, carrying it firmly, yet at the same time under control.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Here's Herbert. This will be caught. Judy. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. A good pickup there, 21 yards.
As they began this drive, I was wondering how they were going to attack since they're playing with the lead. Would they continue to try and push the ball downfield? Well, after one play, it appears that the answer is yes.
Fournette, a 1st down carry. And he'll fight forward on the straight-ahead running for just a couple of yards, 2nd down. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
And they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Play action. It's Herbert. Able to get this one to McBride. So back-to-back plays, each get nothing. And 3rd and 8 now. Boy, the evolution of the game and how these guys on plays like that can get out of the pocket, keep plays alive. It just makes things so much harder for defenses.
It really does, and we're talking about an era in the game where the quarterbacks are the most athletically gifted that we've seen in a bunch. I mean, when you talk about collectively, it's unbelievable. So their ability to move is practiced now. It's not necessarily, oh, he just took off and you guys figure it out. When he takes off, everyone knows where to go now. They know how to run routes, change things, make themselves presentable for the quarterback. There's a lot of time that they put in on it. It's not just your static 1, 2, 3. This is where the ball goes anymore.
And they'll get to this and touch it. Looks like, yeah, right at the 15-yard line here.
At their own 15-yard line.
The New York offense taking over for their next possession. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, we were having a tough patch. This too shall pass, this too shall pass. And finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you've got to do something to make it pass. And that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down. And with that